Hi there. Welcome back to Ask Amy. So before I get into today's question, I want to mention that next Tuesday, November 1st, I'm going to be leading a webinar for those of you who are interested in becoming a change coach. I'll talk all about the training, all about the profession, all about this way of working with people and why it's so powerful and so effective in that webinar. And I'll also be joined by some newly certified change coaches from last year's training so they can share their experience. So you can ask them all the questions you want and you can hear things directly from them. So I will put in the comments here the link to sign up for that free webinar if you're interested. So today's question is from David. David says, I love your work and follow you on YouTube with your Ask Amy's. I've had an intrusive thought for the last year that has given me so much anxiety. My heart races all the time from it, even when I'm not in thought and I'm enjoying my day. I saw a video where you explained that it's mainly a habit, but how do I stop the racing heart habit? So I love this question, David. So it sounds like what I hear you saying is you've had this intrusive thought, you say, for the last year. It's felt very anxious. It's met with a lot of anxiety. But you're seeing that that's a habit, or that's what you're asking about, you're onto. And so let's just, before we get to the heart thing for a second, let's just look at the thought thing, because really they're the same. And you're absolutely right in seeing that, all an intrusive, we call it an intrusive thought because in our minds thinking this thought intrudes on how we want things to be, right? It feels intrusive. But it's really just a thought. It's just a thought that is just like any other thought. It just happens to stand out and be picked out and be showered with a bunch of attention and really a bunch of resistance, which is unfortunately what kind of makes it feel so anxiety provoking and scary and repetitive. So kind of see how all thought is the same. Now, I know it doesn't feel that way, but again, this one jumping out and feeling like an intrusive thought, it's been given extra thought on top of it. It's been given a bunch of attention, a bunch of energy, a bunch of resistance. So it just keeps coming back a little stronger. But it is just as safe, just as impersonal, just as neutral, inherently neutral as any thought. Is what's for lunch, or what time is it, or what shirt am I going to wear today? It's all just what's arising. There is no little piece of experience that arises that suddenly has more inherent meaning, or that is, a message from somewhere else, or what. It just, let it be really simple. Just for the sake of your exploration and seeing more about this, let it all be equal. Let it all be simple. Let it all be the same, just with different flavors. That's what I think ultimately helps us just feel so much more peace around our experience, no matter what it is, where we're not in this mindset of good, bad, right, wrong, too much, not enough. This is an intrusive thought. This is a thought I wish I had more of. That's more thought too, right? That's just a mind wanting to take this amazing seamless flow of oneness, this seamless flow of experience, chop it up and give it all labels and judgments and grades and evaluations. And that's what a mind does, and that's okay, but that leads to a lot of suffering. So we tend to live in the output of all that chopping. Good thought, bad thought, nice feeling, bad feeling, like it, don't like it, more of it, less of it. We live in all that, but just keep being curious about, that's thought too. All of this, whatever is arising right now here is life. It is not wrong. It is not wrong. Nothing wrong arises because there is nothing wrong. There is just this arising and then this arising. And then there's a little mind that comes over here and wants to call it all names and put labels on it all. And that's beautiful too. That's life also. That's also just what's arising. So it sounds like this intrusive thought, you've seen around it a little bit, or you've seen something about it. You're onto the fact that it's a habit. And you can, again, kind of see it's the same as anything else. Now, the heart racing is the same as anything else too, right? So along the lines of what I just said, kind of see, like, sometimes our heart races, sometimes our breathing, our breath quickens, sometimes it slows way down, sometimes our mind races, sometimes it slows way down. All of this stuff is just physiological stuff that's arising. Now, you're saying my heart races from this intrusive thought. Even when I'm happy and I'm out enjoying my day and I'm not thinking about it, my heart's racing and it's because of this intrusive thought. Maybe the thought's there somewhere in the background and there's some resistance to it, and then it leads to a little feedback in your heart racing, which is all that is, by the way. It's just feedback, physical feedback as to what's going on. Maybe that's happening. If that's the case, again, there's no worries, because the intrusive thought, it's just a thought. Thoughts will come, thoughts will go. It might be resisted, it might be feared, it might be pushed away. It's still going to go. It's still going to go. It's just that we can keep seeing, okay, this is nothing that needs to even be resisted. It's going to come, it's going to go. When it comes, if it's believed or just habitually what might happen is maybe there's a little heart quickening around it. That's okay. That's going to speed up, it's going to slow down. We are nature, David. Like, there is we are not, nothing you're describing here is wrong or broken. We're just part of nature. And just like nature, it's like clouds roll in, rains a little bit, clouds roll out, there's the sun. Keep seeing that when it comes to your thoughts and feelings. So maybe, as you say, your heart's racing because of this intrusive thought in the background. That's fine. So again, no real problem. It'll come and go on its own. And the more you keep seeing even this is okay, everything just diffuses, and it is okay. It is. We're built to have all kinds of thoughts, and we're built to have all kinds of feelings, and even all kinds of physiological reactions. A racing heart doesn't kill people. If you're having a heart attack, you'll know that's a different thing. This is not what's happening. This is a little racing heart from anxiety, and it sounds like you know that. So that's okay. We are designed and equipped to handle that, and then it changes. So that is what it is. Now, I also just I'm curious how you know that the racing heart has to do with that intrusive thought. And I don't think you know how you know. I don't know how you would know, and that's fine. But I just want to keep you open to kind of unhooking those a little bit. It may not be, your heart might not be racing because of this intrusive thought lurking in the background. And it doesn't really matter. Again, I'm only saying this because there might be kind of a story about it, this intrusive thought, and it's so powerful and it comes back, and even when I'm having a great day, it's there in the background and my heart races. And our mind creates these stories. Our mind is constantly trying to make sense of everything. So of course, it'll look at a racing heart and instantly try to find what made it happen, where it's going next. I mean, that's just what a mind does. So it kind of makes sense that your mind came up with this story to explain it. But also see, I don't know, we don't really know. Let the stories be held very loosely. Let yourself be wrong. Let yourself be in a place of, I don't know why this thought's showing up, why my heart's racing every once in a while, even when I'm enjoying my day. And I don't need to know. It's okay. Everything that comes up goes away. Everything that arises is life too. It is not separate. It's not some problem arising on a David. David is life. Thoughts are life. Feeling is life. Heart racing is life. Heart slowing down is life. It's all the same energy rising, taking different forms and shapes, and then falling and changing over and over and over again. So when there is something to do, like when we're having an emergency in life, we do things. We're built for that too. We totally are built for that. We don't sit around and think about it. We go into action. When we're sitting around thinking about things like, why is this happening? And why is my heart racing? And how do I stop it? Well, then we're sitting around thinking. And that's safe too. Humans sit around and think a lot. But that's not dangerous. It's not wrong. And it's not, clinical. It's just kind of how we're designed. So you ask, how do I stop the heart racing habit? You don't. I don't know how to change my heartbeat. I don't know many people that do. You can try some breathing. You can do some things that probably calm you down. That's great. And you can look into those if that feels right to you, different things to kind of calm your nervous system. But ultimately, bigger than that, I want you to know that this is okay, and that your heart will race kind of in this anxious way, as you say, as just simple biofeedback about what's happening in your mind. And because our thoughts come and go and they change all by themselves and they aren't dangerous, the biofeedback does the same thing. You know, if there really is some anxious thinking in there, then your body's just showing you that, and then that's going to change. So the more you can kind of just feel it in that way, David, it's like waves crashing on the shore. They come and they go, they come and they go all day long, all year long, all life long. It's just always happening, and it's all okay. And then our mind wants to come in and talk about it and label it, and that's fine too. But it's so helpful to kind of just be in this bigger feeling of it. Nothing you're describing is problematic or meaningful in and of itself, even though I know it can feel very uncomfortable. But keep knowing, yeah, humans feel stuff that feels really uncomfortable sometimes, but our experience is safe no matter what it is. And when there's something to do, we just see to do it. And when we don't see anything to do, we sit around and think about it, which is a totally different thing. So I hope this is helpful. Thanks so much, David, for sending your question. Thank you, everyone, for listening, and I will see you back here next Monday.